Welcome back to the Tide Dream Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with another video. This is going to talk to you about the Aoyi Mech Twin Dragon from Interstellar Aoyi Mech. And this is their take on the KO upscaled version of Sinnertwin. I got this at Show Z. You can get yours there too. And to be truly honest, I like this guy. It's pretty straightforward. And I'm looking at having this as possibly my masterpiece of ominous. Let's get right into it. Alright, here is the packaging. It says Twin Dragon. It shows a picture of him. And the top, the side, deformation. Shows his tech specs, which, man, this is pretty powerful, dude. Oh, that's the entire guy is that powerful. I don't know how powerful this guy is. But there it is. I can't wait to combine him. Here, quick, easy steps to transform this guy. Let's take a quick look at him in his robot mode, and he does look pretty good. This is one of the better looking ones. Well, I think this whole set looks pretty good. I think by this time, Hasbro has perfected their Combiner Wars-ism, and these are just upscaled versions. So taking a look at the head, and we can see the face. There is some silver paint on there. He's got yellow paint on the eyes. The body is yellow and purple and red paint accents, and really good job with the silver. That looks great. It's got a nice shiny reflective. It's probably shining and reflecting on the camera really well. Silver down here, red and silver. The back, not so clean, but I mean, that's just the way Hasbro made it. And I would have liked them to engineer a way to hide these away. I really think there's enough room inside the legs. When we get to the transformation, I can show that. But overall, a good-looking bot, good-looking team. But I'll probably not see him in this once I get him all combined on. He'll just be a leg or an arm or something. Let's get into some quick articulation. His head can do up and down, side to side. He actually is part of the transformation, so he should have quite a bit there. You can do the 90 at the elbow, all the way around. The shoulder, you can pivot the shoulder, of course, for transformation, but it's still there. You've got quite a bit of bicep swivel, so you could do little hand on the hip pose there, and then with that, hand doesn't do much, kind of goes in for transformation, and that's really about it on the arm. You do have waist swivel, no ab crunch. This is before Hasbro put ab crunches in there. You have a 90 both ways on the leg, and you have a thigh swivel, 90 on the knee, nice beautiful kibble, and no ankle rocker. This is predating ankle rockers on this design. Just for fun, let's get this whole family in here. This is G1, and I want to point out the colors are slightly different than the G1. This is probably more tune accurate, and the colors match a lot closer between these two than this at all. So that's the way it is. So let's do a quick rundown between these two. And side by side, you're gonna see a few differences. But I wanna go over top to bottom. Head and the coloring look the same. All of these paint apps look the same. Paint app right here looks almost the same, except it's only a thin line and a thicker line there. Moving down on the paint apps, same. Now, from the front, you're gonna see, and I'm gonna pull them up a lot closer. Hopefully this shows up really well. This has a better ratcheted system. I'm guessing it's better. I mean, I don't know, until we have it in hand. Because it's bigger, it seems like there's bigger, wider teeth to grab versus this guy. So we could look at that more in alt mode. I do want to point out the tampograph on the original is not existent on this one. But if you get the right angle, you can see that the redesign also affected the way the chest is. There's not as much room for a Decepticon symbol on his chest. You have to use a really tiny one or put it somewhere else. So that might be a negative. But that's one thing that I noticed that was different. Looking at these guys, on the side, we have the same paint apps, and you really couldn't see it from the front, but all the Decepticon stickers, yeah, there's one on the front, one on the shoulder. This is, of course, missing all of that. I mean, it's not allowed to have it. That's something that we have to add in the end. Moving to the back, I mean, we're going to see stuff that we're going to see in robot mode. I guess I could have cleaned both of these up a little bit better than I did. But there really are the differences in bot mode. This piece right here below the neck piece, now that is kind of a teal, and on this one it is yellow. I don't know how much that's going to matter, but I figured I'd point it all out. I really thought there's a good looking team, and yes, it's still a good looking team. I want to point out again the blaster. I didn't talk about the accessory yet, but the accessory, as you can see, is the exact same as these three. For whatever reason, Ripper Snapper got his own accessory, but you get this. I don't even know what this gun goes to, but they used it on 3 of these now. Ripper Snapper Special with his blue guns. That is a nice looking team. Here he is next to Megatron and Optimus, and Megatron is Voyager class and Optimus is Leader class. I do want to reiterate the fact that it seems like the entire universe of Hasbro is focused around Voyager for scale, and it just goes up and down from that. And I kind of like that idea. I mean, I didn't like it at first, but I like it. This is scaled up to Voyager, so it fits in perfect with the main line. I actually would like them to be bigger so that my combined mode's bigger. Hopefully there's some sort of add-on kit or a third-party or 3D printed kit or something that comes along that will help out with that. And here he is with an MP Carbot, and he looks like he fits in well with the MP Carbot, and everything's bigger than Yoda. Too big you guys are. Time to transform this guy up. Or are we going to transform him down? So, first thing you're going to do is open this back and tuck his head in. Now, already messing up. Turn it around, tuck it in, and then we can close this back up. Now, you're going to fold it over, tab it in. Now, for whatever reason, mine takes a bit of working to get it in. I don't know why. There it goes. And I think everything's really tight on this, and I was using my son's, let's go ahead and straighten these heads out so they're all orientated the right direction. Using my son's for a comparison, and so it's kind of loose from all the playing with it. Okay, with this, fold the hand in, fold the paw out, and we're gonna lift this back into position. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side, fold the hand in, lift the paw out, and lift that into orientation. So you have the front looking at the back. We're going to open this up. Now this opens up pretty wide. And I do want to point out that on the original, my son's, this is a clearance issue. I don't know if other people had that problem. I guess I should watch someone's video about it, but there's a slight clearance issue on this one. On the original, there appears to be a serious clearance issue, so don't know about that. All right, so let's get this closed up. I guess I should be talking about the transformation, not the clearance issues. Make sure all this is tabbed in, fold the leg down. And you know, these are pretty simple transformations. They're good, solid modes in each mode. And let's take a look at this guy. I'm probably gonna need to reposition the camera. Looking at the front here, he does have 2 heads, and they both open, and both of the necks rotate, and the head itself swivels around, and it's pretty cool. I would have liked it if there was a way that these could move side to side a little bit more, but that's not what's going to happen. But you can kind of get a nice look like that if you want to. Looking at the shoulder, again, the front leg, I think you snap it in a little bit harder, it'll stay a little bit better, and it'll make it a little bit more even from front to back. But it looks pretty good in this mode. I mean, not bad. My tail kind of came down. This doesn't seem to lock in place that well. It doesn't lock in place on the official that well either. We'll do a comparison of them here in just a second. So as I basically did in robot mode, I'm going to show you G1 official and then the oversized version. My G1's legs are kind of loose, but that's kind of getting it all in frame. I'm going to do a little bit more with these two. So this is kind of him in G1, get him out of there, come a long way. And here it is. Trying to get it all in frame. Pretty big bot, and this mode it does look a lot bigger, and they do look almost like 100% identical aside from the tampograph, and it almost looks like a sticker. But anyway, I am missing a foot on this one. My son's been playing with it for a year now, or all year long, so there's going to be some issues with it. But looking at them, they do look very similar. Like all the paint apps, of course, in robot mode translate over into this mode looking the same. Moving it to the side, I mean, I just don't see anything different. Even like right here, which I didn't notice in the robot mode so much, but you notice it in this mode a whole lot more because it's open. It's right there looking at the bottom. So everything looks so much like the same. Not really any differences to speak of here. I do want to give you a couple of options for weapon storage, and you could store his gun right here if that is something that you want to do. And it kind of makes sense, like between the heads, it's an extra cannon and stuff, but it doesn't even look like you'd ever shoot his head the way that's stored. You can also store it if you want on his side right here. These are no longer 5mm ports, so they're just upscaled ports. No longer 5mm ports, they're upscaled. Here is his foot, and he has this red piece, which I think pops out. I mean, I think the other one popped out too. It does nothing whatsoever, but it does add some color breakup to the foot. Here's the foot from one of the other guys, whichever one has a foot. Here are the feet from the official one, so you can kind of see the difference in size. And I don't think the official one had anything to put in there. I think you had to put your own, like, Titan Master or whatever in there, or whatever they were calling Titan Masters when they got to the Power of the Primes. Just to show you real quick though, here are the size differences in the hands and the difference in the look. Like this has a clear something in it, this doesn't. Again, I'm working with brand new stuff with the big one and used stuff with the official, so I guess I kind of don't know 100% what's going on with that. But these are going to be pretty big bot when you look at the size differences there. So if you want to store it in alt mode, which who would really, just stick them in a baggie. There's my storage, great value baggie. It's going to store all of them. Can't lose them that way. All right, let's get him into combine mode. We're going to start with the leg. Just remove this and his foot, and he falls down. Okay, so pretty simple. First thing we're going to do is flip these to the back, disconnect it, flip it to the back, get that out of the way. We also need to move these to the back here, and we're going to move these up a bit. And for this, we're going to move these arms down, and we're just going to tab them in. So it's this notch into this tab, and it's strange, but there it is. And then you just move this up a bit. That doesn't really tab in, it's just more like sits there. But anyway, that's what we're gonna do here. So let's do the same thing right here. There it goes, and there it is. Now let's go ahead and put them on the foot here, and then we're gonna mess around with the heads and what we can do with the heads. Now, you flip them around and you can flip them up. As you can see, it's kind of an opening in here. There's an opening in there, and so combine mode's the most important to me. So how do you want to make it look in your combine mode is a big deal. I think that it looks a little bit better if you put the heads maybe down instead of up like that, but now you see the gap. If you have them facing forward, you don't really see the gap. But then it makes the leg just like super weird looking. Kind of whichever one you like the most. Okay, flip this around. The tab around so that you can connect it to the main bot there, and there we go. Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave these down. That looks better. Let's have a look at this guy. Here he is next to the original, and let's get an adjustment there. And here he is next to the original. There it goes. Which, I mean, it just depends on which end you want to use. I always use this end when I combine my Abominus and a G1. But I guess for the sake of comparison to this guy, do it like that. By just this guy, you're only going to get the foot. I'm going to reiterate that you're only get the foot. But we can do an arm mode if you so choose to do an arm mode. So we kind of have to open these legs up and do that. So we're going to kind of open everything back up and come back around here. And we need to open this section. All right, let's get this out of the way. And since they kind of tab together as they open, there we go. We're going to bring these legs back out. And we can tab it back together. It's more of a slide it back together than tab it back together. And now we're going to close this back up. But before that, we need to get this out. This port here is going to fold outward. And we close all of this back up together. Pull these back down. And then we're going to slide these down to here. And just going to sit flush. And then we got to do something with the, again, that part. And then for these, there's this tab that goes into that notch right there. But it doesn't go in smoothly. Doesn't really feel like it fits right, but let's do it. We have to flip the shoulders up to make it fit. And it's just not fitting right. Well, it doesn't really fit that right, but it's not the end of the world. It's not going to cause any problems for me. Fold that joint down, and we can flip this around, and we can have an arm mode. Now, here's a hand that came with a different one. So, again, you don't get this hand. All right, let's grab another hand. You don't get this hand with this. And I'm going to... put a little bit of pressure on this piece. Everything on this is super tight, so it takes a little untransforming to get it there. But here it is with the hand, and it's not a bad looking arm mode. It's not a bad looking arm mode. It gets the job done in arm mode. So this is Aoyi Mech's Twin Dragon, their version of Sinnertwin for the Power of the Primes, Hasbro, KO oversized, upscaled to Voyager, and it's a pretty solid figure. It's about the same as the other ones. I'm not shocked with anything. I'm not surprised by anything. I think they did increase the ratchets. Everything on this figure feels really tight. For the arm mode, those legs didn't peg in. The pegs do not match well. They did not plan on it being an arm at all. They didn't include a hand, so it's just a foot. So they only expect you to make it into a leg. But I think overall he's a good figure. I'm going to have this in my combined mode when I get the last one in. It's a great set so far. I'm pretty pleased with it for what it is. You can get yours at Shows. I'll have a link down below. Like, subscribe, Airhanger out.